Until Dawn puts four teenagers into a precarious situations of life and death, and they choose friendship. And that's why this movie sucks. Welcome to Fresh Out. I'm Cude.
I'm JC.
And we're fresh out of Until Dawn. Boom, that's it. That's
One of those ones. Until Dawn challenges a group of friends to survive a night of horrors or become the very thing they're running away from. So, Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Ooh.
So this was a really popular video game back in the day. Maybe like, it has to be old now by 10 years or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 2015 actually, yeah.
This movie has nothing to do with that video game. So if you played that video game, do not go into this movie expecting anything from that plot line, anything, except for the psychiatrist character. What's his name?
Dr. Hill. Peter Stormare is the actor's name.
Peter Stormare.
Yep.
He is the only thing that kind of connects this thing. This is a movie about 5 young people that go to a cabin in the woods, and they are on a Groundhog's Day time
basically
time frame where they die and they wake up and they keep dying until they figure out the mystery.
Yeah.
But the mystery of this movie is not a good mystery, and it is not worth going to this movie to go see.
Oh, all right.
We're coming out of the gate.
Don't know if I would agree completely there, because I would say it was entertaining overall, but for a certain audience. So I'll say that.
Yeah. So
you're wrong.
What did you like?
No,
what did you like? Because we liked different things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I think when you see a film like this, right, you're always expecting, if you're looking at a Groundhog Day-esque type of film, that they're reliving these days and it's the same thing over and over again. But I think that's actually where there's a bit of a difference, and I think where it kind of the source material from the original game is similar. In a way, they tried to make some parallels where you're reliving this day, but it's not the same day, and also you're not kind of fully yourself. The more that you're living in this world, the more you're being affected by it. You may still be quote-unquote healthy, but you're still going to wake up with a black eye or a bruised elbow, and it'll just slowly progress where it's starting to weigh on you and it's starting to alter your chemistry of your body.
That's what you liked about the game. So everybody, that's what you liked about the movie. So everybody that has played the game knows that everything that he said was just a jumble of words that didn't mean anything, because this movie is nothing like the game. It's nothing like the game. So basically in the game, you play through with 5 characters. You try to get to the end with all of them alive. It doesn't matter if one of them dies or whatever the case is, it still goes the storyline. So this is definitely like a Groundhog's Day ripoff, Happy Death Day ripoff, where they are trying to survive, all 5 of them, by dawn, and then they magically get to walk away free, which was so weird.
I agree there.
But what did you like, though?
Yeah, well, no, I guess what I was saying was, like, I did like that it was slightly different, but it is a bit of a ripoff.
You like the acting?
Yeah.
Did you like the characters?
Well, okay, I would say there are certain moments. I won't say overall acting, but I will say there were certain moments, right? One of the actresses has a very, I don't want to give it away, but she's channeling a bunch of different spirits. And I feel like that was pretty impressive as far as acting ability. The writing, script, what the direction they were given, I'm sure was not ideal. And it's a bunch of kind of up-and-coming actors.
So if you have seen any 80s Jason movie or Freddy movie, expect that level of acting. This is not good acting.
Yeah.
This is not good acting.
It wasn't really the acting. Movie. I would say moments of emotion, not really even acting ability, just like shocking moments.
So another thing the thing that I liked about this movie was the atmosphere, and the creature design was really cool. It was spot on. They should have played more into the atmosphere, because the atmosphere was creepy. The atmosphere was very creepy. They could have just played into that a little bit more, and it would have been a lot more eerie than them just like doing cheap jump scares, which we'll get to. But But yeah, the creature design and the atmosphere was spot on for a scary movie. It hit all the cliches, cobwebs, dark. The whole last part of the movie was in the dark, though. It was so weird. Like when they were
Yeah.
running through the tunnels and stuff, I was like, yo, this is like the darkest running chase scene I've ever seen in a movie.
I know.
Like you didn't know what was going
it's
on, which was
it's
so
tough to
weird.
really even like kind of grasp or feel any suspense when you're like, I can't even really see what's happening.
The last,
It's like the Game of Thrones episode where they're like, "Oh, the massive battle," and you're like, "Wait, who's fighting who?"
Exactly.
Yeah. So
And so the deaths, I wanted this movie to have really cool deaths. If it was going to be a stupid cliche teenager in a cabin movie or whatever with serial killers and monsters, I wanted it to be really cool deaths.
and they did have it. No, I'm just kidding.
I was kind of let down by the deaths.
Okay.
Like the first couple were like, okay, but then it just turned into people getting stabbed or people getting like chopped in half, and it was just like, dude, they could have did so on the video game. And I'm not trying to compare it to the video game because the video game is a totally different experience. But like the video game at least had like you were making decisions about like how people are dying in a way, you know what I mean? And their deaths were like pretty visceral and like it was pretty rough in the game. These
Probably
deaths
more
were just
meaningful, too.
Yeah, these were just like cliche deaths. Like one guy gets chopped in half, one dude gets stabbed in the head, one dude gets his head smashed.
Dude, don't
by a
give them
thing.
all away.
One dude gets his thing gets chopped in the thing. Like it's just a lot of regular deaths, and they could have been way more inventive with the deaths, dude.
Yeah. I feel like they tried to kind of mold together like jump scares and deaths, almost like so much so that they started to lose meaning. But I feel like there was an opportunity because you're reliving all these days to be very much more inventive with the deaths, and like there was such a big opportunity there, and I feel like they definitely did not really pursue it as much as they could have, especially since. It's a bit of a spoiler, but like not really. They don't really live out all the days that are they say they're there for 13 days or whatever, and they only really show about
like
4
days,
of them.
4 or 5 days.
And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, where'd all those other days go? Here, look on this phone, and we'll see some funny videos." But I will say the comedic elements of the kind of the videos and ridiculousness of the ways you could die in this world, which I won't give away, but I would say maybe watch out for the water.
So this is the thing about this movie. It piles on a whole bunch of cliches. So you got the mining town from Silent Hill. You got the Groundhog's Day thing where they die and then come back to life, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have what other cliches is it? It's just so many you got what's the movie? Blair Witch Project. They're watching found footage. Stuff. You know what I mean? Like they have a whole bunch of horror cliches in it, and they don't do any of the cliches like to justice. Like they always start they have the idea. They're like, hey, throw this in there, throw this in there, throw this in. They're just packing this movie full of stuff to where it's just like, oh yeah, I remember this one movie that did something like that. Yeah, okay, cool. And it's just they don't do any of the cliches good. And that is terrible, dude, because they had some good ideas and good elements, just none of them were done well.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I feel like also something that I mentioned, and it seemed like you kind of felt a similar, it was like the jump scares, it was oversaturated, right?
Yeah, dude, every scare in this movie is a jump scare. Yeah. Nothing will make you feel like foreboding dread or like when you're walking down a dark hallway is something gonna pop out, but nothing pops out, and then like you're just like, oh, you're still like goosebumps, right? This is not a Goosebumps movie. This is every time that we scare you in this movie will be a loud sound and something flashing in the screen to scare you. Yeah. That is all this movie is like 20 jump scares.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, if you're going into this movie on a date or whatever, and you're just trying to cuddle up with the chick or whatever and have her jump and just laugh at each other for getting scared at something that you're going to get scared at because it's so loud and annoying, then yeah, have fun. Have a free-for-all. This movie is for you. This movie is not smart. This movie doesn't do anything original. It's the most generic scary movie that I've seen in a long time. And I watch a lot of scary movies. And it's just, like, this was just, it's not a good movie.
Tell me how you really feel.
To me, it was very predictable. What do we have on the
Hey.
list? Predictable.
Yeah, very predictable.
We have predictable on the list. It's just super predictable. You know what's going to happen, and
Yeah.
and I'm not even going to spoil the end, but you're going to hate the end.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to hate the end.
Could hit it. It's really something where
You're going to hate the end, dude.
you're not only will you hate the end, but if you're like a legit horror movie fan and you kind of go to the theaters relatively often, you're not going to be impressed by this. But
Yeah.
if you're trying to take somebody to the movies, take them on a date, you know, and kind
Or
of
just go with the homies and
Or just go-
like
yeah,
just
go with some
talk during the whole
friends.
thing. Like, knock yourself out, dude. I talked through the whole movie, so I mean, it was okay. I got a couple of chuckles in the seats around me, so I mean, you know what I mean.
he's doing a little stand-up routine.
Yeah,
just to
this
see
movie
it.
is not good. So we can go ahead and score it.
All right.
Because that's all the respect this movie gets. We
Okay.
spent more time doing this review than the time they took in the writing room
Stop.
to write this movie, bro. Straight up.
All right, well, you have to kick us off.
Trust.
You're
So
obviously
I'm gonna
passionate
give it,
about
you
your.
know what did I give The Crow? I gave The Crow, what, a 3 out of 10? 4
I
out
think
of
you gave it
10?
more than that. I think The Crow actually.
Okay, so I'm going to give this movie, just because I was never bored in it,
Yeah, gotta keep that in mind.
I was not entertained. And
interesting.
what's weird is the
interesting
first half
conundrum.
of this movie is entertaining.
Yeah.
And they set up things
The
where you're
first
just
half
like,
of-
okay, pay it off, and they never pay it off. I'm
That's
gonna
really
have
the
to give this
biggest
movie
gripe.
a 4 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a
Ooh.
4 out of 10.
Ouch.
Yeah, 4 out of 10. This movie was straight up. It's below mid. Mid is a 5. This is a 4 out of 10 because this movie ain't even mid. I'll
Man.
never watch this movie. I'll never tell anybody to watch this movie. Now, did I feel like I wasted my life in this movie? Not so much. I've wasted my life in way worse ways. But yeah, dude, do not even see this. Watch it on streaming, I guess, if you're just like chilling and bored. But
Yeah,
don't even watch this movie on streaming if you're not bored. Don't even, if you're trying to find something on streaming to watch, do not pick this movie. To me personally, 4 out of 10.
Boom. All
Yeah,
right.
4 out of 10, dude.
So, there were some things that, like in my mind, rewatchability. I feel like I would at least put it on in the background. But it is one of those things.
It's a background movie.
I'm
dude.
saying you're like I wouldn't even put it on the background. I would at
Nah,
least
nah.
put it on the background.
Nah.
So I'm not gonna say below mid, but I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna
Okay,
say
mid. It's a
but I would
mid.
say high mid. I mean, we're going whole numbers like I always say, and so I would say it's like
It had some decent setups.
mid 50s, like 55,
Set
56.
design, whoever did the set design, bravo.
Yeah,
Set design and creature design.
exactly,
Bravo.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
It had the elements.
the elements
Yeah.
were there. It was set up for success, actually. Like even with the kind of group of no names, and I feel like for horror films, that's honestly there's some cult classics that's where they got their start. Essentially, is like it was this group of no name people, and the fact that I did not play the game, but that apparently Peter Stormare was the original character from the game.
He was
so at
like
least
the psychiatrist in the
yeah,
game.
and he's really good at being creepy, and
Yeah.
he's always a good
Creepy German
a
dude.
good villain. So I was happy to see him in this.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 5.
Yeah. This movie was a ripoff of every other scary movie that you've seen, and it's just a generic ripoff and not done well.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, dude. We'd love to hear what you think, though. Do you think this movie was good?
Honestly, right? Do you feel like maybe I didn't play the game. He did play the
I
game.
did play the game like 10 years ago when it came out.
Are there more parallels we're not seeing here? I know the creatures.
Yeah, the Wendigos.
Wendigos,
The
right? That was
Wendigos.
part of it.
Yeah.
They got Dr. Hill in there, right?
Yeah,
Are
he's
there
the
other parallels that you guys
psychiatrist.
saw
Yeah.
that maybe we're just not seeing, or
Yeah.
that let us know?
And if not, I mean, still just like post a comment of like, yeah,
Doesn't
we're not
hurt.
going to see this
Hit a
movie.
like, hit a comment.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm Cude.
I'm JC.
And this was fresh out of the worst horror movie of 2025, Until Dawn. Thanks, Sony, for this heaping pile of trash.
You can wait to watch it
You
until
know,
dawn.
it ain't a heaping pile of trash. The 4 is not a pile of trash.
No.
It's just something that you'll never watch again or, like, tell anybody to watch or recommend. So, I mean, it's
You might. You never know.
just wait, guys. Just wait.
Date night streaming movie at home. Boom. If you're like, I want to stay in, stream a movie, and it's free on a streaming service.
Yeah, if you're trying to cuddle up, dude, or if you're mad at your girlfriend and you just want her to be scared so you can like laugh at her the whole time, then yeah, do this movie. Other than that, nah, dog. Skip it.
All right.
Skip it, dude.
Wang a ding a ding.
What is this movie called? Until Dawn.
Oh yeah, you're the one who has
You
to.
ready? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Ain't. Until Dawn. Welcome to Fresh Out. I'm Cude.
I'm JC.
And we just get fresh out until dawn. And my head chops off and rolls on the ground.
You had like special effects
That's in
or
the
something?
future.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
that's in the future, dude. When we get a
I mean, we could do it all creepy if you, at least for the
get a
voice.
budget.
Yeah.